playing.
Yeah, it was very nice. You could tell the difference.
Playing chords, because that's like the high strings on your guitar. So, like I said, getting back to like the 6th string, all the stuff you're learning on the 4th string, you could then very easily bring it out onto the 6th string. Because now a little plug for myself is I teach how to play bottleneck slide guitar, and I have instructional video CDs available if anybody's interested, and they can certainly very easily find them. I sell them on eBay, and you can easily find the CDs by searching my name, Kenny Lee. Just gotta remember to spell it right. My first name Keni, and my middle name Lee. But of course, you could also find me on the YouTube and at the Nation, where I'm currently doing some free lessons too. But to get back to this a little bit, so a lot of times on the bottleneck style, like I said earlier, it's kind of like you're playing 2 lines of music at the same time. So your thumb is playing the bass note, and you're using your fingers to pick out the higher notes on the higher string. So in clip number 8, what you'll see the 4th string is also really nice for, because you have all those high strings, is playing bottleneck lead. So clip number 8 is a 4-string bottleneck lead.
So, yeah, you were saying that learning to play the 3-string and the 4-string is a very good way to start to jumping into the 6-string regular guitar.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that's the history of the cigar box guitar. You had all these early blues players like Blind Willie Johnson and Lightning Hopkins, to name a few. That's what they started. They didn't have a lot of money, so they made probably a classic diddly bow. They got a broken broom handle and a piece of baling wire and an old box, and they slapped it together, and they started to learn, how to play some blues or play some of the popular music they were hearing at the time. So it's really a great. I really love Cigar Box Nation and the work Shane Spiel's doing over there, because I think it really opens up the door for music for people. So you don't have to go out and buy yourself a $600 guitar to start. You could buy yourself some parts and go down your basement. You could put yourself together an instrument that you could actually play, and you can actually learn to start how to play the music, whatever you're into,
And it's exactly the way that the people that you're, you listen to on the radio, that like you're fans of, if you're a fan of anybody like ZZ Top or Clapton or anything like that, their influences were these guys who learned how to play on these 3- and 4-string instruments before moving to the 6-string. And so this is actually playing cigar box guitar should be the first step in learning to play guitar in general. Really, it seems like.
Yeah, to talk a little bit about how to learn to play music. I mean, I'll tell you a quick little story. I'm like everybody else. You want to learn to play the guitar. So what did you do? You went to the local music store, and you went up to where they had the tablature, and you got the tablature for your favorite band. Like if you went to Led Zeppelin, you wanted to play Stairway to Heaven. So
exactly,
you got the tablature, and you went home and you started learning it. And it's okay. So there's really good tablature out there, and you can learn how to play these songs. But there's a kind of a problem with it in that you're really not building yourself up to that. You're taking a song, that Jimmy Page wrote when he was already a good guitar player, and then you're trying to play like somebody who really knows how to play well. It's like you're not going through some of the basic building blocks and learning some simple songs, some simple chords, some simple ideas that you can understand yourself. And that's the beauty, I think, of guitar, and at the time I was taking some private lessons with Woody Mann in New York City, and I told him, I said, Woody, you know, I'm not getting any better. I want to get better at playing guitar. So he took a very simple piece of tablature and he put it in front of me, and he said, can you play this? And I couldn't. You know, it was very easy. I should have been able to play that well. And he said to me, he said, Kenny, that's your problem. Your basics aren't strong enough. He says, you're trying to play things that are too complicated for yourself. You need to really get stronger basics. So, you know, what I did was, I call it the backward step, you know. Basically what I did was I decided to relearn how to play the guitar. And what that meant was I started to kind of go very simple, like, and just really kind of construct the way, you know, I thought, like, how would, you know, these guys in the country, how do you think they went about figuring out how to play an instrument? I mean, a lot of times they probably took real simple songs and figured them out, you know, like, and that's what I suggest people do, you know. Start ultra simple, like, figure out simple song that you might know in your head, like, you know, simple as Happy Birthday, because, like, once you learn how to find some of those notes, you can then start to understand how this works. And, you know, in my instructional series, that's exactly what I did. Once I went through this process of, like, backward step to figure this out, I shot these videos and kind of recreated the steps I went through that give people an idea. Well, this you can do the same thing, you know. And you know, the blues, what's so beautiful about the blues, it's like the roots of it all. It's like really fundamental music. And a lot of songs, like, you know, most blues songs only have 3 chords. And like, there's thousands and thousands of songs that have these 3 chords. So you don't need to know a lot. You just need to know how to explore. And that's what I'm really into, is figuring out how to explore. You know, in the next clip I have for you, I have the basic 12-bar blues progression. Because, see, one of the things about the blues is because it has these 3 chords, they set these kind of progressions up that are, you know, the 12-bar or 8-bar or 16-bar. And a bar is simply a measure of music. It's like if you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be a bar of music. So a 12-bar blues has 12 of these bars in it, and the chords change a pattern. These 3 chords change over these patterns. So when we listen to this next clip, the clip 9, this basic 12-bar blues progression, see if you can hear, you know, the chords changing. It's going to be that same shuffle rhythm again like we had earlier, but it's going to be, you're going to hear the chords change, and it goes around and around and around. So the beauty about this is like, once you learn these 3 chords, or these, you know, how to work through this 12-bar blues progression, you can just keep filling it in if you learn how to explore.